Olá pessoal, eu estou aqui com mais um palestrante, o Robert Janssen, que vai fazer uma apresentação no CONACX, que é o Congresso Nacional de Customer Experience, que vai acontecer nos dias 9, 10 e 11 de dezembro de 2014. E o Robert é um convidado especial porque ele veio de longe, ele veio da Califórnia, do Vale do Silício, para fazer essa apresentação para a gente. Welcome, Robert.
Thank you, Guilherme.
Robert, I have a few questions so we can generate a better engagement with our public, okay? So, Robert, people think that they're safe because they're seated in really nice chairs inside big buildings from really large corporations, and lots of them think of that because they have a big brand and a lot of money and sometimes a super viable product and service. And my question is, are they really safe?
That's a very good question, Guilherme. And the answer to that is that it doesn't matter if you are behind big walls and big monies and fat wallets, no one is really safe. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens with those companies that are behind walls with large corporations and large budgets and big brands is they're siloed. They're farther distanced from the front line and from what's really going on in the market. The speed of change is one in which today it really requires that you be constantly gauging what's happening out there in the front line. And if you got big walls keeping you from understanding that front line, you are in for a big surprise. One key example that we use is what happened with Blockbuster. Mm-hmm. So Blockbuster was actually sought by the guy who created Netflix, offering him the possibility of bringing that business online. And the guy from Blockbuster said, no way, Jose. You know, this is my business. I don't think you're going to have a business because I don't believe on what you're trying to tell me, that everything is going to be online. Well, we know the end of that story, right? Blockbuster no longer exists, and Netflix is one of the key on-demand video providers worldwide. So if you're sitting on a fat chair, comfy, cushion, leather chair, and with a big wallet and a lot of walls and a lot of secretaries attending to you, you should be very concerned. And in my presentation, I tell them they need to go to a doctor.
Oh, cool. And another question is, I've been to Silicon Valley several times, and one of the things that stands out is the respect that big companies have for small startups. Actually, it seems that it's more than respect. It seems that they are trying to follow the startup steps. And why?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Guilherme. The reason really is behind, first, the speed of change is one in which where large organizations who are locked in their processes and the several steps they need to take for the decision process is not compared to the speed of the change out there in the front line. So they're losing market share. They're losing clients. So what they have found out is that they could learn from what's going on in the startup world, where they have a much shorter cycle for providing a product, a service, or an experience. They have something called MVP, minimum viable product. And an MVP can be set in a couple of weeks. One thing that we see, and we actually as an organization who provides an advisory in innovation, is a lot of organizations are using the hackathons in order to speed innovation and the creation of new value to their customers. So they go out, map out client demands in the front line. They bring back that into a set of structured demands. That communication goes out to startups and entrepreneurs who have a weekend for them to actually provide a possible suggestion of a solution. So the client organization then will select out of 30, 40, the top 3, top 4. Mm-hmm. And then what they'll do, they'll accelerate. They'll go through what the startups normally do. They go through an acceleration phase of 3 to 4 months. And the end result of that is that organizations now, following the startup steps, are able to bring innovation and new value to their clients faster and cheaper.
Cool. And I know that you're really experienced on helping large Brazilian corporations to understand the Silicon Valley ecosystem and to get to know better how they can improve their process and even their customer experience based on the best practice of the Silicon Valley. And could you tell us a little bit more about these kind of things that?
Yes, absolutely. We have a conviction that, of course, Silicon Valley is probably the greatest innovation lab, crash course anyone can think of or dream of. Because organizations who are at the forefront of thought leadership understand that the speed of change is affecting and they need to do something about it, we've created a program that goes through 3 phases. So first phase is a 1-week immersion, which is more of a sampler, in which we provide a direct contact with several key agents of change within Silicon Valley, be from the research institute environment, be from the companies that are actually out there trying to make this change, or be even the startups. So then we go on to a second phase, which then is giving the possibility of these organizations to spend more time, between 30 to 90 days, and really be able to internalize the concepts and the tools that they can bring back home later and provide and provoke transformation that can provide them more further innovation and further value. And then the third thing that we also do is help them structure back on their own yard how to provide continuously and consistent innovation throughout. So we do the hackathon approach, where we go out, map out demand, provide that into a set of processes and demands for entrepreneur startups. They come back in 2 or 3 weekends with a suggestion or solution, and the organization chooses 3 or 4, accelerates them for 3 to 4 months, and then at the end result of that is that they are able to come out with a new service, a new customer experience that would be much faster and less investment for them to provide. So we are helping them on those 3 phases ongoing.
Perfect. Thanks once again.
Thank you for having me here.
E eu convido a todos vocês a assistirem a palestra do Robert no CONACX. Lembrando que quem quiser conhecer a grade do CONACX é só visitar o site www.conax.com.br. Quem quiser conhecer um pouco mais do trabalho do Robert, está aqui o endereço do site da empresa dele, que possibilita essa troca de experiências entre a nossa cultura brasileira com a cultura do Vale do Silício, que é impressionante. E eu deixo o espaço aberto no nosso canal do YouTube e no Facebook para quem quiser já trocar algum tipo de informação com o Robert sobre a palestra dele, sobre o conhecimento dele ou sobre algum conteúdo que a gente falou nessa entrevista. Então, muito obrigado e vejo vocês na palestra do Robert. Um abraço.